My sister Veronica was always a snake. A beautiful, charming viper. I'd won the lottery 6 months ago. $20 million. The kind of money that changes everything for better or worse. For me it was worse. 2 weeks ago, Veronica's yacht supposedly sank in a freak storm off the coast of Bermuda. The Coast Guard searched for days. No body. Just a mangled piece of her expensive scarf. My husband David held me close, whispering, "She's gone, Ellie. Our Veronica." I cried on cue, but inside a cold certainty settled. She wasn't gone. She was planning to disappear with David and my lottery winnings. The twist? I knew her secret, and I was about to use her fake death and the insurance money she thought she'd collected to fund the political campaign of the one person Veronica truly hated, Senator Evelyn Reed. David held me tighter, his voice thick with what I now knew was performative grief. "Our poor Veronica," he repeated, stroking my hair. "Our Veronica? You mean your Veronica, the one you've been secretly sleeping with for years?" The salt from my tears tasted like pure deception. I was supposed to be heartbroken, the sister who just lost her only sibling. But all I felt was a cold, calculating rage. The media had descended on our quiet suburban home, cameras flashing, microphones thrust forward. I perfected the art of the trembling lip, the choked sob. "She was my everything," I managed, my voice breaking just right for the morning news. The lie was a performance for the world, but the anger was a promise to Veronica. This wasn't just about money. It was about betrayal so deep, it shattered my entire life. It all started with the lottery ticket. 6 months ago, my life was simple. A comfortable marriage, a quiet job, and a small but loving circle. Then came the phone call. $20 million tax-free. David was ecstatic. Veronica, who had always struggled financially, was suddenly my best friend, my confidant. She was practically living in my pocket, helping me manage my newfound wealth. I remember her eyes, glittering with an avarice I chose to ignore. "Ellie, we're family. We share everything, right?" She'd purr, stroking my arm. "Of course, Veronica. Family always comes first." I had no idea family included my husband and every penny of my winnings. The money didn't bring joy. It brought the serpent into my garden, revealing the true nature of everyone around me. The first clue was a hidden phone. A burner phone David had in his desk drawer. He'd left it open once and a message flashed on the screen. "Bermuda is set. Meet me with the cash. We're free, my love." The sender? A contact saved only as V. Veronica. My heart stopped. I pretended not to see it, but every fiber of my being screamed. I spent weeks, then months, secretly copying their encrypted messages. Their plan was audacious. Veronica would die, collect a massive life insurance payout, which I now knew was tied to her latest business venture, and disappear with David and my lottery winnings. The twist? They wanted to drain my new wealth, too. He told her about the private accounts, the ones only I knew about. I thought, a cold fury rising. This wasn't just adultery. It was a conspiracy against my entire existence. Veronica's death was orchestrated with chilling precision. They chose Bermuda, a locale known for its vast ocean and unpredictable weather. A freak storm was the perfect cover. David played his part perfectly, looking distraught, arranging for memorial services, even comforting me, the grieving sister. He spoke endlessly of Veronica's bad luck and her reckless spirit. His performance was Oscar-worthy. Mine, a quiet masterpiece of vengeance in the making. She would never have gone out in that storm, I'd tell concerned friends, tears in my eyes. She was too smart. The twist? I knew the storm was their accomplice. I knew the yacht was pre-scuttled. And I knew the grieving widower was packing bags for a secret rendezvous. They thought they were so clever, but their arrogance was my greatest weapon. Veronica's business venture, a fraudulent shell company she'd set up years ago, had a surprisingly robust life insurance policy, a $10 million payout in case of accidental death. David, as her next of kin and secret lover, was the beneficiary, or so they thought. My own investigations done in secret revealed a crucial detail. Veronica had listed me as the primary beneficiary in a hastily updated document just before she met David. A last-minute change, probably to confuse her creditors or to avoid any legal ties to David's known financial issues. She always saw me as a means to an end, I thought, a bitter smile touching my lips. Her final act of manipulation accidentally handed me the sword of her destruction. David was openly talking about selling the house. Too many memories, Ellie. We need a fresh start. Maybe move closer to the city. Fresh start? He meant a fresh start with Veronica, funded by my lottery money and her insurance fraud. His voice was light, almost giddy. I'd pretend to hesitate, to be emotionally attached to our home. But David, this house, our memories. He'd sigh dramatically. We can make new memories, darling. A new chapter for us. The twist? He still thought I was oblivious. He still believed I'd hand over my millions willingly. He was planning my financial ruin, oblivious that I was already planning his complete destruction. He would lose everything he cherished. I filled out the insurance claim forms with meticulous care. Every detail, every date, every signature. David, still in his grieving widower persona, was too busy planning his escape to notice. Just sign here, Ellie. It's just routine paperwork for Veronica's assets. Assets? You mean the assets I'm about to collect? I went to the insurance company myself, bypassing David entirely. They processed the claim quickly, given the high-profile nature of the tragic accident. The $10 million landed in my private, offshore account within days. David was furious when he found out. Ellie, why did you do that? I was going to handle it. I shrugged innocently. I just wanted to help, darling. You were so distraught. The first taste of revenge was sweet, but this was just the appetizer. Veronica had a lifelong nemesis, Senator Evelyn Reed. A formidable politician, outspoken, principled, and utterly incorruptible. Veronica had always despised Reed, calling her a self-righteous hypocrite and a fraud. They had a public, ugly feud years ago over a zoning issue that ruined one of Veronica's shady business deals. Now, Evelyn Reed would be my instrument of revenge. I researched her campaign. She was running for governor, but her campaign was struggling financially against a well-funded opponent. The perfect target. I thought, a slow, predatory smile spreading across my face. Veronica had always underestimated the power of a woman scorned, and a woman with $10 million in insurance money. I arranged a discreet meeting with Senator Reed's campaign manager, under a pseudonym, of course. I'm a concerned citizen who believes in Senator Reed's vision, I stated, my voice calm and confident. I wished to make a substantial, anonymous donation. The campaign manager's eyes widened when I mentioned the figure. $5 million. Half of Veronica's death payout, now fueling the fire of her destruction. The twist? I stipulated that the money be used specifically to target Veronica's old stomping grounds, districts where Veronica had built her shady business empire, and where Senator Reed was weakest. I want her name dragged through the mud, politically speaking, I emphasized. The game was no longer just about money or betrayal. It was about public humiliation. David was becoming frantic. The $10 million insurance payout, which he assumed would be his, had vanished into my private account. Ellie, we need to consolidate our assets. This money, it's just sitting there, funding your worst nightmare. I played dumb. Darling, I invested it. Safely. It's generating interest. You know I'm terrible with these things. He tried to access my accounts, but I had changed all the passwords, created new firewalls. His frustration was palpable. He even went to his lawyer. My wife is hiding money from me, he complained, oblivious to the deeper fraud. The twist? He couldn't expose my money hiding without exposing his own affair and Veronica's fake death. He was trapped in his own web of lies. Veronica, from her grave, began sending frantic, coded messages to David. Where's the money? Why hasn't Ellie transferred it? Is she playing games? David's replies were equally desperate. She invested it, V. I can't access it. She changed everything. Oh, how the tables had turned. I read their messages, sipping my morning coffee, a cruel satisfaction bubbling inside me. Veronica's new life, the one she planned with David and my money, was already crumbling. You thought you were free, Veronica? You're more entangled than ever, I mused. The twist. Veronica's fear and frustration were growing, planting the seeds of distrust between her and David. They were starting to turn on each other, just as I intended. Senator Reid's campaign suddenly roared to life. Her ads, now well-funded, started appearing everywhere, specifically targeting the districts where Veronica had operated. They exposed corruption, unethical practices, and shady dealings, all the hallmarks of Veronica's business empire. Veronica's ghost must have been screaming. The phantom is striking back, I thought, watching a news report about Reid's surprising surge in the polls. My revenge was becoming a very public spectacle. The twist, Senator Reid, unknowingly, was becoming the avatar of my vengeance, dismantling Veronica's reputation piece by piece. This isn't just about winning an election, Senator. It's about settling an old score, I whispered to the screen. David was a wreck. His escape route was blocked. He couldn't access the insurance money, and my lottery winnings were untouchable. He started drinking heavily, his usual charming facade cracking under the pressure. Ellie, please. We need that money. Veronica needs it. Veronica needs it? Oh, you mean you need it to run off with Veronica? I pretended to be confused. Darling, why is Veronica involved in our finances? She's gone. He choked on his drink. It's just something she set up for emergencies. Before she died. The twist. His lies were becoming increasingly transparent, eroding any lingering shred of my affection. He was desperate, and desperate men make mistakes. Big ones. I had installed tiny, discreet cameras in the lake house weeks ago. Just a precaution. One night, David, drunk and despairing, stumbled into the small cottage by the pier, a place he rarely went. He pulled out a hidden satellite phone. Veronica, where are you? The money is gone. Ellie locked everything down. We're ruined. His voice was a panicked whisper. Bingo. Veronica's muffled reply was unintelligible, but his words confirmed everything. I watched on my tablet from the main house, a cold satisfaction settling in my bones. The cottage where they planned my downfall became the stage for their confession. This wasn't just proof, it was ammunition. My patience was finally paying off. The next day, a discreet email arrived from Senator Reid's campaign manager. Senator Reid would like to personally thank her anonymous benefactor. A private meeting at your convenience. The time was ripe. I had to meet her. The twist. I knew this meeting would bring me face to face with the public face of Veronica's demise, the very woman Veronica despised. I arranged the meeting at a quiet cafe, far from my home. I am honored, Senator, I would say, but the honor was mine. I was about to shake the hand of the woman destroying my sister's legacy. The storm was gathering, and I was holding the lightning bolt. Senator Reid was even more formidable in person. Her eyes were sharp, intelligent. MS. She paused, looking at my pseudonym. I can't thank you enough. Your generous support has completely turned this campaign around. We're finally able to expose the deep-seated corruption in these districts. She named the very areas Veronica had tainted. It's my pleasure, Senator, I replied, my voice steady. I believe in justice. She smiled. Justice is what we aim for. Some of these older cases involving a certain Veronica Smith and her shell companies are particularly egregious. She was a master manipulator. She had no idea she was speaking to Veronica's sister and her executioner. As we parted, I offered Senator Reid a seemingly innocuous piece of information. Senator, I've heard rumors that Miss Smith Veronica had a very close relationship with one of her business partners, a married man. It might be worth looking into for background. I watched her eyes. They narrowed slightly. Interesting, she mused. We'll look into all connections. Thank you for the tip. The seed was planted. The twist. I was feeding her just enough information to expose David's role in Veronica's schemes, without revealing my own involvement. The political campaign was not just destroying Veronica's reputation, it was slowly, meticulously dismantling David's entire world too. David was now convinced I was deliberately withholding the money. He confronted me, his face red with anger and fear. Ellie, I know you have the insurance money. I need it. Our plan. He stopped himself. Our plan to sell the house, I mean. He was close to confessing everything. I looked at him, my expression unreadable. David, I invested it. It's safe. What are you truly planning? He stammered, then stormed out. The twist. His desperation meant he was about to make a critical move to retrieve the money, a move I was patiently waiting for. He would try to take my lottery winnings directly, and I would be ready. My private bank sent an alert to my phone. David had attempted a large transfer from my lottery account, a significant portion of my $20 million. He used an old authorization code he thought was still active. Fool. The system flagged it immediately. I knew his next move, to confront me, demand access, or even try to force me. The twist. I had deliberately left the old code active, knowing he would try. It was a trap designed to catch him in the act. You wanted my money, David? You'll get nothing but jail time, I whispered, watching the alert on my phone. The net was closing in, and he was swimming directly into it. I had my lawyer prepare divorce papers. No long explanations, no accusations. Just a simple, cold legal document citing irreconcilable differences. I served them to David that evening. He stared at them, his face slack with shock. Divorce? Ellie, what are you doing? We're family. Family. You and Veronica are family. I am your victim. I simply replied, I want this house and I want you out. By tomorrow morning. The twist. The divorce papers meant he would lose everything. The house, any claim to my lottery winnings, and his comfortable life. He had gambled everything on Veronica's phantom payout and lost. His face showed not grief for our marriage, but panic for his ruined escape. The divorce papers shattered David. He broke down, tears streaming down his face. Ellie, I'm sorry. Veronica. She made me do it. She promised me a new life. A share of the insurance money and your lottery winnings. The words tumbled out, a torrent of confession. He revealed their entire scheme, their rendezvous point, Veronica's assumed identity. He even showed me a fake passport Veronica had prepared for him. He finally confessed. Not out of remorse but out of fear of losing everything. I simply listened, my face impassive. Thank you, David. That's all I needed to hear. The twist. His complete confession, recorded discreetly on my phone, was the final piece of evidence I needed to destroy both of them. I compiled all the evidence. David's confession, the coded messages, the insurance fraud details, and Veronica's assumed identity. I made an anonymous call to the FBI, specifically mentioning the fraudulent insurance claim and the conspiracy to defraud a lottery winner. I gave them just enough information to connect the dots. A woman named Veronica Smith, recently declared deceased, is living under the name Victoria Stone in a luxury condo in Miami. Her partner, David Vance, recently filed for divorce and made a full confession. The net was cast. The twist. I was feeding the authorities the exact information they needed, ensuring Veronica's new life would be very short-lived. My revenge was moving from political to criminal. Veronica, in her Miami hiding place, must have been watching the news. Senator Reid's campaign had become a juggernaut, exposing every shady deal Veronica had ever made. The public outcry was immense. Veronica's name was being dragged through the mud, precisely as I had planned. Her reputation, painstakingly built on deception, was crumbling. I imagined her fury, her confusion. How is this happening? Reed had no money, no power. She would be thinking. The twist. She had no idea her own death payout was financing her nemesis. The irony was almost too delicious. She had paid for her own public execution. The news broke silently at first, then exploded. Local woman Veronica Smith, previously presumed deceased in a boating accident, has been arrested in Miami on charges of insurance fraud and conspiracy. Then came the photos. Veronica, looking disheveled, handcuffed, being led away by federal agents. The phantom was real and she was caught. David was arrested shortly after at a local motel trying to flee. He resisted, yelling about being framed. "You framed yourself, David," I thought, watching the news from my quiet living room. The twist. Veronica's perfect escape had lasted only a few weeks. Her greed and David's weakness had led directly to their downfall, engineered by me. Senator Evelyn Reed won the gubernatorial election by a landslide. Her victory speech was broadcast live. "We have shown that corruption will not stand, that integrity and justice will prevail." She mentioned the brave whistleblowers and anonymous benefactors who helped bring down a network of deceit. I was that anonymous benefactor. The twist. My personal revenge had contributed to a significant political victory, shaping the future of the state. I toasted her with a glass of champagne. To justice, Senator. And to Veronica's utter ruination. The satisfaction was profound, far deeper than any lottery win could bring. David's lawyer contacted me, begging for mercy. "Ellie, he's lost everything. He's facing years in prison. Can you speak on his behalf?" I agreed to visit him in prison. He looked broken, pathetic. "Ellie, please. I still love you. Veronica was a mistake. Just help me get out of this. Love me, David," I said, my voice cold. "You plotted to steal my money and run off with my sister. You made your choice." The twist. I looked at him not with anger but with a strange detached pity. He was not worth the anger. He was simply weak. I had won. But the victory felt hollow in the face of so much destruction. My life was finally free of them, but at what cost? I never visited Veronica in prison. I didn't need to. I saw her lawyers' pleas for a reduced sentence on the news. They painted her as a victim of David's manipulation. The snake always blames others. I knew she wouldn't confess anything that would implicate herself further. She would take the fall silently, believing she was protecting her remaining assets, whatever they were. "You chose this path, Veronica." Not once but twice, I thought. The twist. Her silence was her final act of defiance, and my final act of power was to simply let her rot. She would never know the true architect of her downfall. She would only know that Evelyn Reed had won. Months passed. David and Veronica were convicted, facing lengthy prison sentences. My divorce was finalized. The house was mine, filled with memories I was finally ready to process. My lottery winnings were untouched, invested wisely. I donated the remaining $5 million of Veronica's insurance money to a charity dedicated to financial literacy for women. My life was finally my own, free from their shadows. The twist. The quiet peace I now felt was not just the absence of their malice, but the presence of my own strength. I had survived betrayal and emerged stronger, wiser, and richer in spirit. The lake house, once a symbol of my pain, was now my sanctuary. One afternoon my phone rang. It was Senator Evelyn Reed. MS. She paused. "I know your real name, Eleanor. I've connected the dots. I just wanted to say thank you. And to tell you, Veronica Smith recently requested a transfer to a maximum security prison. She blames me for everything." I smiled. "She always did, Senator. And I suppose in a way you were." The twist. Senator Reed knew. She understood the deeper layers of my anonymous donation. Her acknowledgement was not an accusation, but a quiet understanding, a respect for the intricate revenge I had orchestrated. We were two powerful women, connected by the downfall of a common enemy. I found a hidden compartment in David's old desk. Inside was a letter addressed to me but never sent. It was from Veronica. Ellie, I'm sorry. I love David, but I loved your money more. Forgive me. I knew you'd understand. She knew. She always knew my true nature. The strength beneath the quiet exterior. The twist. Her apology wasn't for the betrayal but for being caught. It was a final chilling glimpse into her narcissistic soul. I burned the letter, watching the ashes flutter into the wind. No, Veronica. I don't understand. And I don't forgive. The past was truly gone, cleansed by fire. My journey from a heartbroken wife to a vengeful architect of destruction had changed me. I was no longer just Ellie Vance. I was Eleanor, the woman who had faced her darkest fears and emerged victorious. I started a small consulting firm, helping women navigate complex financial and legal challenges during divorce or betrayal. I used my pain to help others find their power. The twist. My revenge wasn't just about destroying Veronica. It was about reclaiming my own identity and purpose. The lottery money, once a curse, became a blessing, funding a new, meaningful life. Sometimes I still think about Veronica and David languishing in their cells. Their new life had ended before it even began, replaced by the cold reality of justice. My life, however, was vibrant, filled with genuine connections and hard-won peace. I walked by the lake, the sun warm on my face. The phantom was gone, leaving behind not emptiness, but infinite possibilities. I had faced the ultimate betrayal and crafted the ultimate revenge. And in doing so, I had finally truly found my own freedom. The only thing I ever lost was my naivete. And that, I realized, was a priceless gift. Thank you for watching this incredible story of betrayal and revenge. Where are you watching from? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if Eleanor's ultimate revenge satisfied your soul, and share this story with someone who needs a reminder that justice always prevails.